So here's an overview of the things that you need to know about the exam and the instructions. So the way that this works is normally we would be doing this in class as a midterm exam. Because we're doing it this way in the online version of the class, this involves essentially a take-home version. So what you'll need to do is you have the exam sheet that will be posted on the week 7 page. You download the exam sheet, you can print it out, or if you have it on screen, whatever, and then you create a response document, a Word document, or whatever word processing app you're using, and you start filling in the answers as if it were an essay. Essentially, this is your blue book. And then at the end, once you've written out all the answers, you upload this Word file or PDF or whatever to Blackboard by the deadline indicated here. Each section where you write out a written response, where there's a paragraph or more where you're talking about, you're giving the response to your answer. You need to give an assertion. You need to specify brief but specific examples. And then you give your discussion. So your responses are in these 3 sections: an assertion, brief but specific examples, and then your discussion, which is the most important part, showing how these examples give us insight, tell us about the ancient world. If you find it necessary to provide a quote that is illustrative of what it is that you're talking about, anything that comes from the outside must be within quote marks, and it must show where it comes from. It must be absolutely explicit that that these words are not yours, and you're marking them as such, and you're giving where they come from. Anything in the discussion must be your discussion, must come from your head, your understanding. Please follow these instructions carefully and talk to me about your understanding of the ancient world. Please read the instructions for each section and upload your response document by the deadline indicated. First section is identification and impact. So what I'm doing here is I'm giving you 12 different terms. I'm asking you to write about 4 of them. And what I want you to do is give a brief definition. Definition is the least important part. A 1-sentence definition of what this is. The main thing I want you to be talking about is what is important about this. Why are we talking about it? What does this person or idea or event give us in terms of insight into the ancient world? Short answer, same thing. I'm giving you 5 questions. The identification impact is relatively brief, 60 to 80 words. Short answer is a little longer, 180 to 240 words. And here I want you to give an assertion, provide examples, and give a discussion. And again, I'm only asking for 2 here, so choose the 2 that you're most comfortable with and respond to those. Multiple choice, answer all 6 of these just in your response document. Type the number of the question and the letter corresponding to it. You don't need to have to give more than that. Take note of the fact that, as usual, I'm giving, blah, 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 except. So think about what the question is trying to ask. The map. So what I've given you here is a list of a whole bunch of different places in the ancient world. I want you to pick 10 and provide the locations on the map below. So, you can choose, 2, 12, 13, 24, and for each of those you put 2 and then the letter for, wherever it is on the map. And finally, the essay section, so 350, 450 words, only answer one of these. And here, again, I'm looking for an assertion, which is response to the main question. An assertion, and I need you to give 3 examples of how this thing shows up in the ancient world, and talk about what these 3 examples show, what these 3 examples tell us, the conclusions that you draw about, 3 societies having this thing in common, or how it turns out differently each time. What is this telling us? How does this give us an understanding of the ancient world? Finally, there is extra credit. All of these things are here on the exam. Take a close look at it. You've got time to figure out what it is that you want to talk about, what it is about a particular question that seems to be standing out to you the most, that you want to emphasize in your answer. Read through your answers before you upload them. And then we'll talk about the results of the exam, and I'll go through the materials that came up in the exam as we pass beyond it and move into the second half of the course.